Dr. Khushbu Verma from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today we are going to study about plasma membrane structure and transport system. And this session is related to cell biology course of program BTech FBT 2nd Sem and BSc FST 2nd Sem. So today, first of all, we are going to study about the outermost covering of any cell. What is cell? Cell is a living unit of any living organism. It is a basic unit. It is a basic living and functional unit of any living organism or any biotic organism. So, cell is very important part of our life, and plasma membrane is the outermost of the covering of any cell. So, in this session, we are going to study about the biochemical composition of the plasma membrane, how it is involved in the transportation system of any cell. So, here we are going to discuss in detail. So, first of all, I would like to give information about the overview of plasma membrane. So, plasma membrane is a boundary, as you know. It separates the living cell from the surrounding, and plasma membrane acts as a selective permeable, means it cannot allow all the substance across the cell membrane. It will allow only selectable molecules. In 1972, Jonathan Singer and Graf Nicholson proposed a fluid mosaic model theory, which is most accepted theory till now. And all plasma membrane basically contain two major components, lipids and proteins. Carbohydrates are also present in the ratio of 5 to 10%, but the ratio of lipid and proteins vary according to the cell type. For example, if you are talking about the RBCs, so lipid content will be 43% and protein will be 49%. But if you are talking about the mouse liver cell, so lipid content will be higher in comparison to protein. It will be 54% and proteins will be 46%. Now we are coming to the lipids. So what types of the lipids are present in plasma membrane? So most abundant type of lipid is phospholipid. Phospholipids are present majorly in plasma membrane, and phospholipids are having one unique nature, which is they are amphipathic molecules, means they are having two types of a region, hydrophobic region and hydrophilic region. Now I am disclosing the meaning of hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Hydrophilic region means that region attracts towards the water, and hydrophobic region means that region not like the water molecules, they hate the water molecules. Now we are coming towards the top theories which explain the plasma membrane. So first theory was given by Davison and Daniel in 1935, which was lamellar theory. They supposed that plasma membrane is like a sandwich structure. Here you can see in this diagram, this is phospholipid bilayer and it is surrounded by the two proteins layers. So it looks like a sandwich structure, and it is very famous by the name of lamellar theory. Next one was given by Robertson in 1959. This theory was known as unit membrane theory, and he supposed that all unit membranes consist of bimolecular layer of the phospholipids covered by a layer of proteins, and phospholipid is the main part of the lipid. For example, lecithin and cephalins. Phospholipids are oriented with their fatty acid groups towards each other, and their water soluble ends, means hydrophilic regions present or facing the outward side of the plasma membrane. Next theory was given by Hiller and Hoffman in 1963, which was micellar theory. They suggest that lipid molecule arranged in a micelle ball and proteins will surround this micelle body. And now coming to the most accepted theory, which is fluid mosaic model. It was given in 1972 by S.J. Singer and G. Nicholson. They proposed that phospholipids are most abundant lipids present in plasma membrane. They present in two layers. That's why we call them phospholipid bilayer. They arrange like their hydrophilic regions present outside of the cell and hydrophobic regions present inside the cell, inside the arrangement. And there are two types of proteins which are present in plasma membrane. One is peripheral proteins which cover the phospholipid bilayer from outside and from inside. And second type of proteins which are transmembrane protein, or you can call them integral proteins. So integral protein basically cross that lipid bilayer and they are involved in the transportation system. They are majorly responsible for the transportation of any cell membrane. Apart from the lipid, phospholipids and proteins, there are some other molecules which are present in plasma membrane. Major is sterols. Sterols are also present in the plasma membrane. If you are talking about the animal cells, so cholesterol will be present, which is type of sterol. And if you are talking about the plant cell, so stigma sterol will be present. And here you can see some two other structures which are glycolipids and glycoproteins. It means that if carbohydrates are going to attach to the lipid, so collectively we call them glycolipids. If carbohydrates are going to attach proteins which are peripheral proteins or transmembrane proteins, so this conjugated structure is known as glycoproteins. So this is the overall structure of cell membrane, and this theory was given by Singer and Nicholson, and this is also known as fluid mosaic model. According to this theory, cell membrane is not completely solid in structure. It is a quite of quasi-fluid in nature. Means if temperature is going to high, so molecules will move according to their requirement, and if temperature is going to down, so it will try to avoid to become solid. So means cell membrane is a quasi-fluid in nature. It is not a solid, it is not a completely liquid structure. This is freeze fracture technique, which is basically used for the analysis of any cell membrane, and basically it is also used to visualize the distribution of transmembrane protein within the membrane. For example, the knife is used to cut the cell membrane, and it will cut the cell membrane like this. Means two phospholipid bilayers will separate from each other, and integral proteins will also separate from each other. And now you can see this microscopic analysis. This is the outside view of the layer where you can see lesser dots. Means outside region of any cell membrane is having lesser transmembrane protein, and this is the view of inside of the layer which is having more dots, which included that inside region of any cell membrane is having more transmembrane proteins. So basically freeze fracture technique is very useful to understand the nature of any cell membrane. Now coming to the chemical constituents of the plasma membrane. So as I already told you that plasma membrane is made up of two major components, lipids and proteins, and in case of lipids, phospholipids are majorly present. And now coming to the phospholipid structure. So lipids are basically having two regions, polar head region and two fatty acid tail, and which are non-polar region. Here you can see the structure of phospholipid bilayer. This is one layer and this is second layer. These are the polar head region and these are fatty acid tails. Head region are hydrophilic region and tail region is having hydrophobic region. And that's why tail region are arranged inside and head region are arranged outside of the cell membrane. This is detailed structure you can see. This is head region and these are the tail region. Two fatty acid tails, one is linear and second tail is having some kind of a link. Link represent the unsaturation. Means if more link is present in the one fatty acid tail, means more unsaturation in the fatty acid tail. What do you understand by the unsaturation? So unsaturation means if any organic tail or you can say carbon chain is having more double bond or triple bonds, means they are having more unsaturation. Now coming to the types of phospholipids. Earlier we were going to study that lipids are phospholipids in cell membrane. Now we are coming to the more classification, more types of the phospholipids which are present in plasma membrane. So phospholipids are again subclassified into two groups. Glycophospholipids, which are most abundant, and second is sphingophospholipids. Glycophospholipids examples are phosphatidylcholine, which is most abundant glycophospholipid present in the plasma membrane. Second is phosphatidylserine. It is having negative charge on it. And third one is the phosphatidylethanolamine. These three examples are related to glycophospholipids. And second type of phospholipid, which is sphingophospholipid, its example is sphingomyelin. And only phosphatidylserine is having negative charge on it. Otherwise, all remaining three, phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanolamine, phosphatidyl and sphingomyelin, are neutral in their charge. Now coming to the fluidity of the membrane, as I told you that according to the fluid mosaic model theory, cell membrane is not a solid structure. It is a quasi-fluid structure, means lipid molecules will move within the bilayer. So most of the molecules, lipid molecules, will move according to these theories, like they can rotate itself. For example, these are lipid molecules. If it rotates, so means rotation movement will be there. If flexion, means their fatty acid tails will move, so this movement is flexion. And lateral diffusion means within one lipid bilayer, if lipid molecules are going to exchange from each other, so this is lateral diffusion. And bobbing is also a movement in which one lipid molecule just move like this within one bilayer, within one layer. And next one is the flip-flop, which is very rare, once in a month. In this kind of a movement, one lipid molecule from one layer exchange from the another lipid molecule from second bilayer. So it will move like this. So that's why it is very rare. And these are movements present in the cell membrane. That's why we call that plasma membranes are not solid structure, they are quasi-fluid in nature. Now coming to the conformation of the cell membrane, then how it works. Basically, if temperature is going down, so these lipid molecules will come closer to each other. On that point, cholesterol molecules will become a barrier, so that cell membrane will not become solid. If temperature is going to high, that same cholesterol molecule will become a connector, and it will connect the lipid molecules from each other, so that fluidity will be maintained within the cell membrane. And it means cholesterol is having a dual nature. It will behave according to the temperature condition. Second condition is like if unsaturation in one fatty acid tails, means double bond and triple bonds are present more in the fatty acid tail, so it will help to maintain the fluidity of the cell membrane. And fatty acid tail chain length is also help in the fluidity of the cell membrane. If chain length is short, fluidity will be more. You can understand this concept with the structures. So here you can see the structure. If unsaturated hydrocarbon tails are more present within the cell membrane, fluidity will be better. And in this case, you can see saturated hydrocarbon tails, so fluidity will be less. And cholesterol will have dual nature. It will behave according to the temperature requirement. And now coming to the transportation system of the cell, as we know that cell membrane is involved in the transportation system of the cell. Cell membrane is quasi-fluid in nature, and it is also a selectively permeable cell. It will not allow all the molecules across the cell membrane. So circulation system we are going to study in our next session. So thank you.